Grand Rising, dear family. Shalom to every melanated man, woman, and child on this planet. I am just a man with a conviction. What is my conviction? My firmly held belief and or firmly held opinion is that God will have his world, God will have his people, more Godspeed forever. Soul speed, one belief, and one foundation. This video is going to be titled, The Spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament Parable. It's another nerd parable. Check it out if you'd like to. You don't have to. Either way, putting the message into the world and the core reasoning behind why I'm saying all of these words is going to fulfill its purpose, no matter what. Any rate, in order for this whole message to make more sense, or this whole parable to make sense, I have to read from you two Bible verses. The first one, once again, Matthew 25, verse 31 through 34 and 41. I used to be able to speed read this one really good, but here it goes. I just have to put these words in the video for it to make full and fruitive sense, if that makes sense. That's the proper way to say fruition. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth the sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Verse 41 says, Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. The left hand and the right hand, the Son of Man's left hand, the Son of Man's right hand. The next verse I have to read to you for this to make more sense. Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. I'm gonna use both of them. First, I said I was gonna stick with verse 2 alone, but now I'm gonna use them both. And let me tell you why. Just by hearing me say the words out loud. Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Verse 2, And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, and acceptable, and perfect will of God. I needed to read those to you real quick. Next thing I need to read to you, this note right here. Reason why, the spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament parable. You're going to get why in a moment. Malcolm X will be included in this. Here's a list of countries that is a part of the Arab world. The first one, it's about 23 in total. I don't know if this first one is a actual country, but the Arab League. I don't think that's a country, so it may just be 22. But when I looked it up, it said it's 23, including this here Arab League. Second one, Algeria. Third one, Bahrain. Fourth, Comoros. Fifth, Djibouti. Sixth, Egypt and or Kemet. Seventh, Iraq and or Mesopotamia, which is also summer. Yes, Iraq is actually Mesopotamia. Or at least that's what it used to be called before it was called Iraq. Mesopotamia in summer. Eighth, Jordan. Ninth, Kuwait. 10th, Lebanon. 11th, Libya. 12th, Mauritania. 13th, Morocco. 14th, the Sultanate of Oman. What does the word Sultanate mean? Muslim rule. Muslim sovereignty. Don't forget, this is the Arab world. I'm going to tell you why I mentioned it in a second. Something about a Mecca. 15, Palestine. Yeah, Palestine is a part of the Arab world. And why is Palestine under the raid that it is by my Israel, who is under unjust leadership right now? Moving along. 16, Qatar. 17, Saudi Arabia. That's where the Hajj was located, right? That Malcolm X went to in Saudi Arabia. 18, Somalia. 19, Sudan. 20, Syria. 21, Tunisia. 22, United Arab Emirates. And number 23, Yemen. Like I said, it may be 22, but I counted this Arab lead at first. Okay. Now, I just needed to say all those words and just put them out here. You're going to hear why in a second. Now, the spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament parable. What is it going to consist of? It's going to be consisting of a tag battle. A tag battle? Yeah. I have set up on my team righteousness and knowledge. And on the opposing team, insanity and evil. Or evil and insanity. You can say it however which way you want. But the way I have it set up right now is just righteousness and knowledge versus evil and insanity. Righteousness takes on evil, knowledge takes on insanity. You follow me? Righteousness eliminates evil, and knowledge eliminates insanity. Or knowledge eliminates insanity, and righteousness eliminates evil. You can use it however way you want to. So why do I say the spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament parable though? Because I have these here games set up, right? Like I said, I'm speaking subliminal messages into the world the best way I can in order for my conviction to do or fulfill its purpose. Taking its world back. My God, the God of righteousness behavior. This is who I personally believe is God, and this is the God I believe that serves us and doesn't serve us at the same time. Acronym for the word OWN. Omnipresent with nothing. Omnipresent with nothing. OWN. Omnipresent with nothing. Why do I say omnipresent with nothing? Because this universe is doing everything and nothing at the same time for us at all times. This universe that we reside in is doing everything for us and nothing for us at the same time at all times. Check this out if you would. So, my spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament parable. Why do I keep saying the spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament parable? Because I have these here great fathers a part of my games, so to speak. I have 4 games and I'm going to play on this world here. The first game is called Super Yahusha 47, a Christ game saga. I have a great father within that game for who represents the aspects or who's the reconnection scenario character for the root chakra. I call him Kazuya Mishima, or that's his name from the Tekken video game world, right? Then the next game I have, the second game, is going to be called Cosmic Yahusha 69. Cosmic Yahusha 69, the Soul Game Saga. This is the one I'm playing on you right now currently because it's primarily knowledge-based, which is the reason why you see me talking about all the history and whatnot and going back to the extremely deep past, 4.6 billion years ago, talking about everything that connects from there to here. For the record, the Golden Age was in the Hadine Eon. The Hadine Eon had the Golden Age. Moving along. So, the next thing to notice for this right here. My Soul Game Saga has a great father for the root chakra as well. A different one though. It's not Kazuya, it's a different one for the Soul Game Saga. And for this one is Malcolm X. Malcolm X is the great father for the Soul Game Saga, the root chakra thereof. The reconnection scenario character. Don't forget, character defines as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. The mental, metaphysical, moral, physical. Bring moral character to the physical, long story short. The mental qualities and moral qualities distinctive to an individual, you. Meaning you can distinguish what someone's mental qualities are just by the fruits of their acts. Are their actions immoral or moral? Do they have moral actions or immoral actions? By their fruits you'll know them, right? What type of fruits does an immoral tree bear? What type of fruits does a moral tree bear? What type of fruits do they both bear if they're working together? Just random questions. Moving along. Next. Malcolm X is going to be the great father of the root chakra for that one. The reconnection scenario character, mental and moral qualities, bring moral character to the physical. Next game, and I'm going to be playing on you. It's going to be called Free Yahusha 8-4. Free Yahusha 8-4. This is going to be a rather important one right here, because the second character that's going to be on this here primary example, you'll see why in a moment if you want to listen. You don't have to. But the second character, Bruce Irvin from Tekken as well. He's going to play as the root chakra's reconnection scenario father. And why? I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. And then the last game, the fourth one, which is going to bring an end to the physical spiritual war, so we can focus on doing what's next, like subjugating the actual evil of the world. Establish Yahusha, Infinity. This is going to be a home saga. Free Yahusha 8-4 was a home liberation saga, and Establish Yahusha, or Establish Yeshua, or Establish Jesus is going to be a home saga. You follow what I'm saying? And the great father for my Established Jesus, or my Established Yeshua, or my Established Yahusha Infinity game, or story, the great father for the root chakra there is going to be Elijah Muhammad. I'm going to use all 4 of those characters for this video to make more sense. And I had to read those Bible verses and tell you those 23 countries, or 22 countries, for it to make even more sense. And you'll see why in a moment. So, the first 2 characters though, for the Tekken Tag Tournament parable to make more sense. the Kazuya Mishima and the Bruce Irvin. Now, they're reconnection scenario characters. Why is Kazuya Mishima such a nerd, lame, childish story you want to tell here? Wasting our time talking about Kazuya Mishima when our family members in Somalia are being slaughtered every day. When our family members over in Palestine are being taken out. I don't care about your ethnic code. I'm looking at what's happening to the people, the portions of God's body, right? Moving along. So, why do I use Kazuya? Because in the video game called Tekken 4, Kazuya has this one line where he says, I am what you would refer to as devil. I am what you would refer to as devil. That's what Kazuya said in one of his video game lines, right? So I'm just going to take a piece of that character's mental qualities and apply them to this here story of mine. Just taking something from somewhere in this world's anything and using it for the purpose of installing my conviction or planting my conviction. You follow me? Now, the reason why I want to use that character's line is because of this right here. In this world that we all reside in, everything in which is truly, honestly good, the world paints it and classifies it as evil. The world paints what is truly good as evil, at least this world that we are all in currently. And then everything that is honestly, horrifically evil, the world paints it as good. The world paints all things truly horrifically evil as good in this world right here. So, the way I personally see my desire to combat this by taking that aspect and applying it to the physical is that I am just going to be so extremely, overwhelmingly good to the point where I'm just going to have prejudiced love for you all. Prejudiced love for you. I'm just going to be so good in a world like this that requires you to be so evil and so disgusting and so barbaric that you all are going to see me or mistaking me as the actual devil. And you want to know something? I do not care at all. Did you notice in the video game Tekken, Kazuya Mishima has a third eye devil laser beam that you cannot block? Did you know all of my thoughts, metaphysical, are coming from my mental space? Metaphysical mental space. So that means I have a third eye laser beam conviction that's unblockable right now. You ain't gonna be able to block it, meaning I can just toss the seeds out into the ground without any of you being able to do anything about it as I'm doing so. For the record, the Super Yahusha 4-7 Christ game saga is a spiritual reawakening process. The whole purpose of it is a spiritual reawakening. The Cosmic Yahusha 8-4 or the Cosmic Yahusha 69 game, the Soul Game saga, its purpose is for a soulful reincarnation. The reawakening, toss the seeds out here. The reincarnation, plant the seeds. And then free Yahusha 8-4, the home liberation saga. It's a resurrection purpose game. A spirit soul resurrection game, meaning plant the seeds or toss the seeds out. Plant the seeds, germinate them. The resurrection is the germination of the conviction to within and throughout the people of the world thereof. And then the established Yahusha, infinity. The purpose of this one, the tree of the seeds becomes the physical reality thereof. If that made sense as to why I said it in regard. Toss the seeds out, plant the seeds, germinate the seeds, enjoy the fruits of the tree. That's what the whole point of the established Yahusha Infinity game is, to enjoy the fruits of the tree, of my spiritual seeds from my conviction. Because that's all my conviction is. It's just a plantation of a bunch of spiritual seeds, spirit soul seeds. That's all it is. And what do I mean by seeds? Words. Words placed together in certain sequences that I'm just tossing out here. I would love to just say peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my dear family, all day long, but that won't get the job done properly. You need more details. So here, take this if you would. So my Kazuya character So my Kazuya Great Father character, he's going to represent the mental space for this here spiritual Tekken Tag Tournament parable to work. He's going to represent my mental space because internally, it's so good that you are going to see it as evil. And the only reason why you see it like this is because of the current foundation of the world. And what is the current foundation of the world? Do I need to say it out loud? Because you're all just going to get all sad and salty about it. Ain't nobody do nothing to you, man. Anytime somebody says anything is doing something to a thing, you all get offended by it. Why is that? Because those who offend all day long taught you to be so. So they can just offend all day long in peace. Destroy our lives without disturbance. This here Kazuya character is going to represent my mental space. The mental space is what Kazuya is going to represent. It's a tag battle, remember? The righteousness or the knowledge is deriving from the mental space. So that's the Kazuya Mishima part, the Kazuya Mishima portion, right? So you can take a guess what the moral character and the physical would be. My Bruce Irvin character from the Free Yahusha A4 game, right? He's going to represent my physical moral character for this parable to work. And they're going to be tagging out between one another to attack in this mirror match against insanity and evil or evil and insanity. Mirror match. So that means it's the same two characters. It's not going to be Malcolm and Elijah as my opposers. They're not, no. But here. Now, why Bruce Irvin? Since I said the whole Kazuya reconnection scenario part is because I personally am about to be so good in a world of evil that you all are going to confuse me, most of you intentionally, as something evil. I don't care. I'm just going to do what's necessary to go over there. So check it, right? Bruce Irvin, what's his reconnection scenario in the physical? Did you know this entire reality could also be considered as God's feet? God's feet. This entire reality can be considered as kicking, combos, fighting. Bruce Irvin is a Muay Thai fighter in the Tekken video game, and he's a very, very decent individual. He protects children in his video game videos as well. He stops them from getting hurt, abused, or disrespected. Global child manumission, in other words. When you hear me say things like that tie directly to the Free Yahusha aspect, I'm using my Bruce Irvin moves. Peace, love, unity, and advancement upon you all, my family, in order to tell you things. You follow what I'm saying? So, this here tag team that I have, I'm going to be using God's feet to kick you in the head spiritually with a physical moral character. In other words, my Bruce Irvin reconnection scenario character, my Bruce Irvin reconnection story is, or reconnection scenario is me using God's feet to kick some sense into you. And me using God's physical hands to punch some sense into you. Just because reality itself is God's feet, that don't mean it can't be the rest of the body. Because if there are feet, then what else is connected to the feet? The rest of the body. So that, in other words, that means physical reality itself is God's physical body. This here physical reality itself is God's physical body, the true God. And what God do I believe in? The God of righteousness behavior. This is the God who I believe is the true God, righteousness behavior. You follow what I'm saying? So, in other words, knowledge will represent my Kazuya Mishima, and righteousness will represent my Bruce Irving for this story to work. Righteousness is in the physical. Knowledge is in the metaphysical. So that means I'm going to be having an internal and external tag session against evil and insanity, which is also internal and external. Meaning evil is external and insanity is internal, and it's going to be a mirror match thereof. You follow me? Just a fight. And I'm going to win because I know how to now. Now, why do I mention Malcolm X though, before I commence the battle here? Because I know the reason why Malcolm X lost. I know the reason why, to some degree, even why he even got assassinated. Malcolm X was going to essentially turn this country into one of those 22 there. To one of those 22 Arab worlds. Think about it for a second, if you would. Malcolm, for the first time, experienced what the Hajj Mecca was like, or the Mecca in Saudi Arabia, right? When he went to the Saudi Arabia, and then when he came back, he had this experience to talk about how he saw people who were white and melanated, all in the same sphere, praying together, right? Then you can't forget, though, every religion in this world right now currently are all based upon the principles of white supremacy. Every religion in this world is. All the countries are based on white supremacy. All of the ethnic codings, all of the tribes, all of the gangs, all of them. Everything in this world right now currently, every square inch of this planet, it is all based on this global white colonialism BS that we got dealing with here. It all is. Why do you think the Arab world or the Islamic faith or the Muslim people are moving the way they are moving with their religion right now currently? Trying to use it for the sake of colonialization, as they have all these other countries right here. Niger is one of the poorest countries in the world. That's part of the Arab world too as well. How did Malcolm X lose though, man? From what I can gather at this point, it appears that America just didn't want to become an Arab world nation. I don't blame you. But why did Malcolm have to die, though? He didn't have to die. He shouldn't have died. He should still be here with us to this day. So should Elijah Muhammad. I question things in the regard. Because this is, like I said, this is where the battle begins as well between knowledge and righteousness and insanity and evil. You follow me? I didn't even not necessarily have to use the Tekken characters, but I just wanted to. Because of the reconnection scenario, the reconnection stories and the reconnection scenarios thereof. And I question, why do the stories about Elijah Muhammad's involvement with children and young girls, why does that story even exist in the first place? That could also have led to Malcolm X's assassination as well. And here's another thing, Elijah Muhammad should still be here with us to this day. Now, I tossed all those thoughts out here so I can conclude them by saying this. Malcolm X was seeing Elijah Muhammad as a god. His focus was more so on getting the people to become a Muslim versus getting the people to allow righteousness supremacy and knowledge supremacy and or knowledge and righteousness to be their foundational grounds. Yeah, to some degree, or to most of the degree, he was, when you look at all of his legacy and all of the work that he left behind, his physical legacy thereof. But then you'll also find it's more so directed towards everybody in the world should become a part of the Muslim religion with Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all of his lessons and all of his teachings and things of that nature. Black people need to be financially stable. Black people need to be financially free, things of that nature. We need to stop all this oppression towards us. When you go over Malcolm X's legacies, you'll see what I'm saying. But the thing is, why and or how, after all of that work that he put in the 60s, why is the outcome of today still the way it is currently? You want to know why? Because Malcolm X, even Malcolm X, was fighting the wrong fight in so many ways, or at least he was. When he was saying things, he was still talking us towards the wrong direction in a sense. We don't need to become Muslims. We don't need to be a leader of anything. We don't. There doesn't need to be any black supremacy. You want to know what there needs to be? Knowledge and righteousness supremacy over and or defeating insanity and evil supremacy. Because right now, currently, that's what the world is based on. You can call it white colonialism if you want to. The foundation of global white colonialism or global racist colonialism, whatever, man. In actuality, what's happening here, evil and insanity is in charge of the world. Evil and insanity is in charge of this world. That's what's actually happening in actuality. Which is why I tried or made some type of attempt to put this here parable together so we can have some way to think about beating it. You follow what I'm saying? What Malcolm X was talking about, yeah, most of it was good. A lot of it was good, but it was still leading us towards the wrong direction. We don't need to become no religion. We don't need to see no one individual man as a god. Elijah Muhammad was just an individual man who had a great idea. He should still be here alive. He should still be alive here with us today, but due to the way the world is set up, evil and insanity being in charge of it, we got poisonous food and poisonous air all over the place. How was he able to get old? I think about stuff like that. If a world of evil and insanity, BKA your racist colonialism worldwide, wasn't here, everybody who was alive in the days of the 60s, the important leaders, the people who had abilities to tell us things that we needed to hear, they'd still be here with us to this day. But this is not our world. This is the devil's world, using these so-called white people as a way to preserve and uphold it. So, I recommend, within this tag battle here, we allow knowledge and righteousness, or righteousness and knowledge, or the knowledge of, no, I'm just going to say it. We allow knowledge and righteousness to help us defeat the principles of this world. Because with knowledge and righteousness, or righteousness and knowledge, we can defeat the principles of insanity and evil, or evil and insanity, the grounds thereof. We can destroy them. And return ourselves back to the servitude of God. In the Muslim world, the word Muslim means absolute servitude to God, right? Service to God. Well, I personally believe all of humanity is God. I personally believe that if you are a so-called Muslim, you are servicing yourself the wrong way. You shouldn't have to pray 6 times a day. God is the personification of righteousness. Just be it. Why are you begging it for answers on how to be it when you are it? You're begging for answers on how to be yourself. Here's one more thing I want to say as to why I put that Bible verse in the beginning there. On the knowledge and righteousness side is the real life right hand of the Son of Man. But on the insanity and evil side, because we have the capabilities of performing them, this is the left hand of the Son of Man's side. The left hand holds those and or knows of those who are of insanity and evil, and the right hand is of those who are knowledge and righteousness, or righteousness and knowledge. You follow what I'm saying? It's a tag battle. I recommend that we all stand and walk on the knowledge and rightness of God's ways, and protect this spiritual house for all the rest of our days. Metanoia. Shalom, shalom, shalom. May these words reach you for the purpose they were designed and constructed to reach you for, your well-being, and as well as for the purpose to bring the awareness of the Soul King, the cosmic Soul King that protects these spiritual grounds through you, as you, for all the days of your lives. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.